Happy Friday. Hello, East Idaho. It's good to have you with us today. We have a lot for you. Of course, we'll have our Studio 4 cover coming up with Erica and Jacob. We'll have more details on that. We also have a lot of issues to talk about. Idaho-based, some of them here in East Idaho. We have national stuff. Always Trump. Always stuff going on with Donald Trump. He says he's inked 200 different tariff deals, so we'll have some of that for you. But the mayor of Boise has responded to Attorney General Labrador, who, of course, has been very publicly critical of Mayor McClain. There's no enforcement mechanism with the law that says you can fly only certain flags. And guess what? The LGBTQ pride flag is not among them. So the mayor, I'm not going to read the whole lengthy response. It's super wordy. It's very sort of self-indulgent and flowy and blah, blah, blah. But third paragraph down, as uncomfortable as it is to be threatened by you, the Attorney General, for standing with and for my community, I welcome the valuable public dialogue your threats have sparked. So now she's a victim. She's breaking the law, continues to break the law, and basically put up a big middle finger to the Idaho legislature, who admittedly wrote a law that they couldn't enforce. But that doesn't really matter. It's still the law. And yet she is now the victim. The left always does. People on the left always do this. They break the law, and then when someone calls them out on breaking the law, they suddenly throw a pity party for themselves. It's a certain psychological type. You could find multiple examples of this happening, but in reality, Mayor McClain is in violation of the law, and she knows it, and she's now trying to say, calling me out on it, coming after me. He's not really coming after her. He didn't threaten her. He just pointed out, you're in violation of the law, and we're going to explore some civil ways to hold you to account, since there's nothing written in the law that holds you to account. Then we'll see what happens here. Now, I'm no attorney. I know many of you will be surprised by that, but I'm not an attorney. And I think what very well may happen is that the Attorney General will file some kind of civil action against her for being in violation of the law. It could go possibly even directly to the Idaho Supreme Court, which the Idaho Supreme Court's not quite like the U.S. Supreme Court, which legislation and civil cases, they take a perilous journey to get to the Supreme Court of the United States. It's not really the same way. The Idaho Supreme Court is much more accessible, and it's possible that you might have the Supreme Court issuing some kind of injunction that would say you must take this flag down. And we know the left, if there's any branch of government that they do give a crap about when they're not in power, it's the judiciary. So and here's where the criminal element could come in, if the Idaho Supreme Court, in response to this hypothetical civil action that the Attorney General would take, tells her to take it down and she does not take it down, then that's a crime. Then you're talking criminal charges possibly being filed. In fact, on the federal level, you have certain judges who want to go after the Trump administration for it's called contempt of court, and in doing that. So we'll see. By the way, that's not a threat. That's the Attorney General doing his job and finding ways to adhere to the law and to keep public officials also accountable to the law. So that's the latest. Mayor McClain starting her own pity party and going on a sympathy tour because she's in violation of the law. And I won't comment on why this sounds very, very familiar, but we've seen something. in ways, there are some similar elements to this story compared to another story that we've seen recently. So we have that. We also have this story that is very frustrating to me. Very, very frustrating. Local News 8 headline, Bingham County Republicans avoid paying state GOP attorney's fees. That's not really the frustrating part, but here's the story. Members of the Bingham County Republican Central Committee will not have to pay attorney's fees to the state GOP after a lengthy lawsuit between the two groups. In an order published April 23rd by Judge Darren Simpson, the Bingham group's motion to disallow was granted, meaning each party will bear its own attorney fees and costs. We are pleased that this chapter is now behind us, writes the BCRCC. The court has ruled that each side will bear its own legal costs and attorney fees, affirming what we have believed from the beginning, that this was a complex dispute in which neither side fully prevailed. We are, however, this is the part that I just shake my head. I close my eyes, I bow my head, and I shake my head. We are, however, disappointed that the leadership of the Idaho Republican Party chose to escalate this matter to such lengths. What should have been resolved through transparent internal processes instead became a protracted legal battle. The bad blood between the state and Bingham County GOP began with a mismanaged election in June 2023. State GOP leadership said the Bingham County, by the way, this is the news script. This is nobody's quote here. State GOP leadership said the Bingham County Republicans did not follow party rules in their election. Well, they didn't. It's not that the state GOP said that. It's that they didn't follow the rules. And GOP Chair Dorothy Moon would have to come to Bingham County to redo the election. After lengthy miscommunication between the county and the state party, the Bingham County Republican Central Committee filed a temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction against state party leadership. It is so convoluted. You could do an 8-part limited Netflix documentary series on this drama, this particular drama. Before the end of last year, they filed a motion to dismiss the original lawsuit. The move came after a judge ruled that their 2023 election had, in fact, broken party rules. In February, Brian Smith, attorney for the Idaho GOP, filed a memorandum for the Bingham County Republican Central Committee to pay his attorney's fees, which could add up to $82,000. We were particularly surprised, according to the BCRCC, by the request for attorney fees made by Mr. Brian Smith, especially in light of multiple documented instances where it was stated publicly and privately that he was representing the party pro bono. Party leadership had repeatedly affirmed that Mr. Smith was not charging for his services. It was therefore concerning to see sworn affidavits submitted to the court asserting the opposite. In a February interview with Local News 8, Brian Smith said under Idaho law, a prevailing party is entitled to file a memorandum of attorney's fees and costs. The decision by Judge Simpson has helped the BCRCC avoid the hefty legal fee. In summary, both parties prevailed in part on BCRCC's claims. Where both parties are partially successful, it is within this court's discretion to decline an attorney fee award to either side. Neither party prevailed, and each shall bear its own attorney fees and costs, said Simpson in the written decision. And Brian Smith said in a written statement, the fact that the Bingham County Republican Central Committee thinks it won something after avoiding an award of attorney's fees shows precisely how distorted their view of reality is. We just got the judge's opinion, and we're evaluating on how to proceed further. So it may not be over. So it continues. I get frustrated because of the pick element of all. I think everybody does. Doesn't everybody get frustrated with the pick? Like, look, you're right. No side fully prevailed. No side won everything. But if this were a basketball game, that would be like saying one side scored 130 points and the other side scored 0. That would be, if you're keeping score, would be totally prevailing. In this case, the state party won by about 80 to 30. It wasn't a 50-50 score. It wasn't like a score you see in a national championship game where each side scores 70-something. Okay, this was a resounding, not complete, but a resounding victory for the state party, because ultimately the county party failed in their core assertion, and it ended up with, guess what? Dorothy Moon going to Bingham County and reorganizing their party, just like she had said in the very beginning. So in this particular case, they're technically correct in that we scored a point or two, but they're wrong in the insinuation that this was a 50-50 thing, could have gone either way. They lost, all right? They scored a point or two, but they ended up losing. So the drama continues. We're not going to spend all day talking about that. We have other things that we want to get to with you. This happened in Florida, by the way. This is not just some nobody Democrat in Florida. This is the Florida minority leader, the Democrat leader in the Florida legislature.
There'll be a caucus meeting later this afternoon where I hope that the members of the Democratic caucus will elect a new leader. For today, I FedExed my voter registration form to change my party affiliation to no party affiliation. Joe Scott should receive that by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning in Broward County. And here's why. Our constituents are craving practical leaders, not political hacks. We are entrusted to be guided by our conscience, and while I suppose it's easier in theory than it is in application, even my worst detractors have no valid claim that I can be bullied, that I can be bought, or even borrowed for a special interest. I am my father's son, even in his death. I am my mother's son while she is still alive. I will not miss another one of her birthdays, and I will return to who I was when I became a young man, independent in thought, in my passion, and my conscience, not consultants.
All right, that's Florida State Senator Jason Pizzo, P-I-Z-Z-O. Pizzo? I mean, P-I-Z-Z-A would be pizza, so... anyway, however you say his last name, Pizzo. And he was the state Senate Democratic leader, and he's switching to independent, which, by the way, is just one step toward becoming a Republican. I'm just pointing that out. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. A state Senator Lori Berman has been tapped to replace Pizzo as the Senate Dem leader, and Nikki Fried lambasted the guy. Jason Pizzo is one of the most ineffective and unpopular Democratic leaders in recent memory, and his resignation is one of the best things to happen to the party in years. Everybody's starting to try to sound like Trump. Have you noticed that? Even the Democrats are trying to sound like Trump now. His legacy as leader includes continually disparaging the party base, starting fights with other members, and chasing his own personal ambitions at the expense of Democratic values. Jason's failure to build support within our party for gubernatorial... How did he become the... Now, wait a minute. Okay, you guys just defy logic. If that's true to any degree, why did you make him your minority leader in the Senate? Okay, that's garbage. Okay, that assertion there doesn't stand up to the smell test. Jason's failure to build support within our party for a gubernatorial run has led to this final embarrassing temper tantrum. I'd be lying if I said I'm sad to see him go, but I wish him the best of luck in the political wilderness he's created for himself. The Florida Democratic Party is more united without him. Okay. Yeah, she sounds really happy and a really nice person. Really nice person. Okay, I do need, before I go to break, I will tell you that I'm not making a prediction here, but if this happens, if we see something like this happening again in a big state, a high-profile state, within the next 2 or 3 weeks, and it's starting to become a trend that Democrats are abandoning ship, they're leaving their party, it is going to lead to a bigger movement. It's going to be an exodus from the party, and I think they're trying to not let this kind of thing catch on. The problem is the Democrat Party's in disarray. I've never seen it in my entire life. I've never seen the Democrat Party in such meltdown, and Trump has destroyed them. I'm not going to play it because I've got to get to a break here. Harry Enton talked about this. The Democrats are getting incredibly dissatisfied with their leadership. We'll have that for you coming up. It's 8:23 now on News Talk 107.9. It's 8:27 on News Talk 107.9. Neil Larson along with Julie Mason. And Julie, once again, we want to remind you, Town and Country Gardens tomorrow night, 6 to 10 p.m. It's Illuminate the Night. That's the glow-in-the-dark petunia that you'll be able to go check out. They're going to take you into a darkened room and let your eyes adjust, and you'll see that petunia glow in the dark. But it's going to be so much more than that. While you're there, you can do your garden shopping. You can get the things you need, like the 4-Step Lawn program. But they're also going to have food trucks and entertainment, and it's going to be fun.
Different vendors. It's actually a party-like atmosphere. When Rex was explaining it to us, I was like, it's got a little bit of carnival-esque, flavor to it that's happening here. You get to see some really cool, unusual things, and then vendors, and it's all free. It's a great way to grab your kids, spend the evening at Town and Country Gardens. What a fun Saturday night.
Not to correct you, admission is free, but if you want to buy food, you've got to pay for that.
But admission is free, Yeah.
So, all right, Illuminate the Night, Town and Country Gardens tomorrow night, 6 to 10 p.m. And across from the Budweiser plant on Yellowstone Highway, south of Idaho Falls. Well, Julie, coming up in a few minutes, we have our Studio 4 cover this morning.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to hear them sing while you were doing your monologue. These are some incredible voices.
Erica Pettit, Jacob Meldrum are going to perform a piece from their upcoming musical Emma show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their voices are top notch. You're going to love it.
Okay. All right. Stick with us. We'll take a break for the news here. And when we come back, it's Studio 4 covers on News Talk 107.9, stimulating talk for East Idaho. It's 8:36 on News Talk 107.9, and it's a Friday morning, and that means Studio 4 covers. And joining us in studio this morning is Erica Pettit and also Jacob Meldrum. And Eric and Jacob, welcome.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Well, it's good to have you in this morning. So you're here with the IFIAC, Idaho Falls Youth Arts Council. Is that right?
Yes. Center.
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 Excuse me. Okay. Gotcha.
All good.
Okay. Now, I guess tell us a little bit about the upcoming performances of Emma. You're going to sing a song from that musical.
Yes. Emma it's based off of the Jane Austen novel that was written in 1815. And it is a musical. So it's got music and some dancing, and it's
dancing
really
only in the Regency sense that people will walk closer together and away from each other. So that's always a blessing.
Gotcha.
Nothing too crazy.
No, it really is fun. It's a story about it's kind of a coming of age thing for Emma. It's about relationships. It's about learning our place, learning about who we are, and how we interact with others. It's really kind of fun. Emma has set herself up as a great matchmaker. As a young woman, she's decided that since her friend has had a good marriage and she's very proud of her part in that, she's decided that is going to be her new thing. She's going to make sure that the people around her are properly matched. And she makes some impressive blunders.
Yes.
And learns a little bit about herself and about her relationships. So it's really wonderful. It's really fun. The music is beautiful. It's by Paul Gordon. He's not as well known as I think he should be. This is a very fun show. He's got a couple others that I really love, but the music is great. The interpretation of the book, while imperfect, is fun and is faithful, I think, to the feeling of the original story. And it'll be familiar to a lot of people.
So I'm checking here. It starts in a week, really. Like it's the first 3 weekends in May.
Yes,
correct.
May 1st.
And every Friday...
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay, gotcha. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If people want more information and to buy tickets, they can go online to ifyac.org, ifyac.org, and there's a link right there for Emma the musical. So tell us what song you're performing for us today.
This song is titled The Argument, and it is after Emma has meddled in the affairs of one particular girl who's has a questionable parentage, and so.
By questionable parentage, we mean that she's in a boarding school and she doesn't know who her parents are because they just put her up there and have kept themselves a secret.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, she's not. Oh, gosh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But in that time, that was, if you don't have a title, you are considered lesser. And so Emma is trying to set her up with someone who is a little bit above her rank, and it's not working out so well. But this is Mr. Knightley, who Jacob portrays, and Emma having an argument about whether Emma
should interfere
at all. Or So,
okay.
And so go ahead.
Okay. Oh, you're performing a cappella.
Yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
Choices were made.
Choices were made.
Okay.
Recordings were not as well as they should be.
Well, that's all right. We're looking forward to it. Erica Pettit, Jacob Meldrum, The Argument. Take it away.
Thank you.
Not her equal. She's the natural daughter of nobody. She's lucky for him, pity's sake. She's the natural daughter of nobody. All she can hope for is someone to love her. Is that such a tragic mistake? And yes, she is pretty and somewhat endearing. I beg you to listen and stop interfering. Do not infer that because she's your friend, he's not worthy of her.
What? You think a farmer a good match for my intimate friend? Mr. Martin may be the richer of the two, but he is undoubtedly her inferior in rank and society.
You are so naive, impossibly misguided, and even worse, immune to common sense. I know you, Emma, and if you dare perceive she'll marry Mr. Elton, then you are more deranged than I believe.
Really, Knightley?
He will not be in love with someone unendowed with relation, rank, and property, to say nothing of some sense. He will not be in love. But what is truly sad, because of you, your friend may lose what hope of love she had.
I don't care to hear your opinion.
No, I'm sure you don't. But I cannot acquit you, though I take no pleasure in my scorn. And yes, it's oddly true, Miss Smith and Mr. Martin can live out their lives without this help from you. For your friend is in love, and though you have not deemed it or dreamed it or approved of it, that doesn't make it wrong. Yes, your friend is in love. Deny it, but it's true. You slight the man she loves, 'cause he's not good enough for you.
I don't know what you mean.
I think you do.
I never interfered.
Oh, I don't believe you, Emma.
You think you know my mind.
I do know your mind.
The perfect Mr. Knightley.
Emma.
Mr. Knightley. Mr. Knightley. Mr. Knightley. Mr. Knightley, you think you know it all, but sadly you're mistaken. You simply have no insight to the heart, all intellect and poise, with no romantic feelings, just temper, faulty platitudes and noise. You have not been in love, therefore you can't scold me or lecture me or badger me. It is not your place, you have not been in love, and so I must declare that you are not to say a word.
A word's exactly what you need.
A syllable.
A reprimand.
An utterance.
Admonishment on a subject of which you will never fully be aware.
Wonderful. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Erica and Jacob. Again, it starts this next weekend at the Idaho Falls Youth Arts Center, ifyac.org. Thank you both.
Thank you so
very
much.
It's 8:43 now on News Talk 107.9.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, it's Brad from Now 105.1 and QP99. I'm in the studio here. I love our studios, by the way. Ranger Rick back there. There's Neal and Julie doing their thing. Hey, when you want to advertise on the radio, what do you do? You call the radio station, right? But what do you do when you want to advertise on Facebook and Instagram and Hulu and Disney Plus and Peacock and the other TV streaming services? You can kind of click around on them and make guesses or read books or take courses online on how to do that advertising. Or you could call us at the radio station. At Sandhill Media, we take care of your local radio and digital marketing. So reach out to us at sandhillmediagroup.com and we'll make sure that your message gets heard and seen wherever your customers are.
All right, 8:47 on News Talk 107.9. Neil Larson along with Julie Mason. And if you'd like to reach us, you can send us a text. You can call us on the Stones Automotive Group call and text line at 208-542-1079. So, yeah, yesterday afternoon, Julie, you might hear a little bit of the congestion thing in my head. So,
It's all right.
At your advice, I took NyQuil last night at about 9 o'clock, and it should last about 6 hours. I think it lasted like 12 hours because it's like, I don't know. I think I don't metabolize medicines
It's just
quite
rummy.
as quick.
Yeah, that rummy feeling when you wake up.
And I've never actually been hungover. I don't even know what that feels like, but I woke up and I'm just like a little groggy and I made it through my shower and I'm here. That's
well
what's
done.
important. So
Yes, well done.
But interesting story out of Blackfoot. What a saga.
Sagas happen. Things happen. Drama happens. I think you have to put a clarifier on this saga. What an unnecessary saga.
Yeah. I mean, they broke the rules.
Yeah.
And, okay, you broke the rules, so now the state comes in and reorganizes you, and you get going again. And they just resisted at every single turn.
Yeah. Yeah. It just didn't need to be the way it ended up being.
No, it didn't. So I did read, though, in the local News 8 article, you had Brian Smith, who, of course, is the attorney for the state. He said, we're weighing what the next steps will be. So it may not even be over at this point.
Yeah. We'll see. Who knows?
Yeah.
I feel like both sides are really in it to win it.
Oh, I think so, too.
And I thought the win it option was over. And then they just poked again. So here we are.
You know, it's funny because there's some stories, and I don't know why this happened when you said both sides are in it to win it. I hear the ba-da-bum-ba-da-da football theme. Like, it's this epic contest, and somebody's got to win it. Can't end in a tie or a reconciliation, or, it's like somebody's got to prevail here. So I don't know why the taunting.
Well, it's what I said earlier. There was not a need to respond.
Yeah, that's true.
Why did you even make it? I'll be honest with you. Your constituents didn't give a rip at this point. You've already caused the pain.
Yeah.
They know you spent the money on the lawsuit. They don't care that you had to pay the lawyer's fees or not. Your pain has already been administered in Bingham County.
Yeah, that's true.
So why bring it up again? Because you just reminded everybody about the pain of the money. And you think it's a win because we didn't have to pay as much money.
Well, yeah. Now, I will say this, if you were following this case, and it went, I mean, we're going back almost 2 years now when they reorganized but didn't actually reorganize. They were sort of a ghost organization for a while. They got spanked by the judge. It wasn't a full-on 100% victory, but they got spanked by Judge Darren Simpson. So I don't know. I think they want to put forward like, well, it was just a mixed decision, like it's 50-50. No, it was overwhelmingly against your county party.
And you just perfectly explained why I wouldn't have brought it up again.
Yeah.
This is a black eye.
It is.
And you took pictures of the black eye and then reshared them.
Yeah. You know what? If you feel compelled to make a statement, okay, make a statement. Say things like, we're glad that this has come to a conclusion and hope to be able to work together in the future.
Perfect.
That's all you got to say. Don't say, well, it's unfortunate that the state party had to. Stop it. Okay, this is like a bad divorce, Julie. Have you ever had friends that are going through a bad divorce and every tiny little thing matters and there has to be something said about it? And that's where we're at with this.
I would
That's
agree.
what it feels like.
And guess in those divorce situations, because I have people that have been in my close orbit who have done these things.
Yeah.
Do you know who hurts the most in those divorce situations? The kids.
Yeah.
Do you know who is not benefiting right now from this? The constituents.
Yeah.
The people in Bingham County.
The rank and file. They're the party members. You're right. Nobody's benefiting from this. This is like the grown-ups just fighting each other.
Yep.
I'm tired. That NyQuil. Lingering.
It's the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine.
I wish they would do this on days when I had more energy. That would be kind of nice. I'm just kidding. I have plenty of energy. So if you'd like to reach us, 208-542-1079. Julie, we talked earlier this morning a little bit about the Lauren McClain War and Peace length reply to Attorney General Labrador. This is like 2 full pages with many, many paragraphs, none of which really said much at all, other than the 3rd paragraph when she said, "I'm being threatened by the Attorney General."
Right. She claims she's gonna fight this out in court. Attorney General Labrador told us this week he expected that. He also feels very confident about his opportunity to win here.
Yes.
So I would say go ahead. And I would also say I'd have far more respect for you as a mayor if you're going to try to be bad A and break a law, own it.
That's true.
This whole victim thing of poor me, I'm threatened, how dare you? La, la, la. I just think that that's a bad look for you.
It is a bad look. And you know what? There's a lot of parallels here. We could pluck multiple stories, and it seems like there are people of a certain ideological ilk that they were the ones in violation. They were the ones that broke the law. They were the ones that sort of went outside the norm. And somebody's holding them to account, and now they're whining about it. Mm-hmm. They're not being threatened. They're not being targeted. You screwed up. And now the accountability that comes after you screwing up is not threatening. It's not targeting. It's just accountability. And you're not able to process it correctly for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, we have regional stories that match this. But you see this a lot when people step in it, right? Say a Hollywood superstar steps in it.
Yeah.
And then the response is, how dare you notice? Okay, well, what are we supposed to do? You're going to get to determine when we notice something about you, like you want to sell tickets at the box office, but when you step in it, we're not supposed to notice?
Right.
So the mayor of Boise, you want to be known for standing up for the underprivileged or those who are diminished, and you fly this flag, and you want to be known as the lawbreaker, but then when it's said, hey, well, we're going to bring suit against you probably, so here we go, you're going to be in trouble. Yeah. Then you're like, oh, stop it. Stop paying attention to me. Don't notice me. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You have to take accountability for everything that follows your decisions. Mm-hmm. So are there times when it's okay to break the law? I would say yes. If we had more time and a longer discussion, there are some laws in certain contexts that are okay to break. Mm-hmm. I thought it was funny, though. I sent you a video of Mayor McClain holding this little town hall, some kind of a little gym or something, and Scott Cleveland was there and pressed her on some issues, and other people were. And I thought it was funny. If you watch the video close, at the end, she jaywalks to her car, and a police officer turns the corner just as she's jaywalking to her car. I thought, I don't know, that there was just some richness.
So much, yeah.
To that, which we all jaywalk. I guess this is a perfect example.
Yeah.
We all do that. There are times when we do break the law, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. To go rescue a kid in the middle of a street, jaywalk all you need to. That's so. But in general, no. The laws, you've made no to uphold the law. You ought to uphold the law. This is not one of those times when it's okay to break the law. There's no compelling legal reason that she should keep flying the LGBTQ flag.
Right. I just thought of another situation in politics where we had this happen. Remember, and I forget his name because he's not even that important, but the Democrat lawmaker that pulled the fire alarm because he didn't want the meeting to continue going?
Yes, yeah.
And then his behavior after that was to lie?
Yeah.
He said it was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Then something about he was just trying to get out a door and he thought this would open the door.
Yeah.
And don't try to be bad A and pull a fire alarm and stand up for my party and then act like you're the victim in the situation.
Yeah.
She's doing that with this. Don't forcibly break the law, which is what you've done. You went in even on an Easter Sunday and removed plastic bags that were put over these flags because you are so entrenched in breaking this law.
Yeah.
Then don't act like it's poor me.
Yeah.
In your letter.
You don't get to have defiance and pity at the same time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed. All right. Well, we're going to take a break. 208-542-1079 on the Stones Automotive Group call and text line. And would love to do that. Also coming up in the next hour, Julie, Don Lemon and Jim Acosta are now doing media shows from their houses, their basements, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how great they are. Mm-hmm. It's great. We've got audio of that coming up.
And my son is like, he just told you there was lots of rocks in the parking lot. Okay. That would be why you have a big owie. Too many rocks.
You know what? If I ever created a hangout place for people and their friends to go to, I'd call it Homey Depot.
Hanging with the homies.
Right. 9:07 on News Talk 1079. I told you I took too much cold medicine last night.
He really is hungover.
I don't know why. Why did I forget that part where the voice guy comes back in? Well, welcome to Hour 2 of the Neil Larson Show. Getting started off in style here today. And if you'd like to reach us, the number to call, the Stones Automotive Group call and text line is 208-542-1079. We'd love for you to be a part of the program today. Julie, this is a great Friday topic. So I'm going to put it on the table, okay?
Okay.
You and I have not even talked about this. But I think this is a great thing to talk about. This would be something we would talk about on a post show on another day, but I think it's perfect Friday fare. Earlier this week, you guys mentioned that you use ChatGPT on a daily basis. I'd love to hear discussion sometime on how you use ChatGPT that often, what you use it for. I use it only occasionally, and I'm feeling like I must be missing something. Here's my reaction to this. I use it now a lot. I use a lot of AI now. Like I use, and I'm gonna get lectured by saying this. DeepSeek is better at some things than ChatGPT is. Mm-hmm. We've used Grok before. We've used Gemini, which is the Google AI module. And so different AIs do different things better. I think the best general AI right now probably is still ChatGPT. That's why I probably use it the most. But I'll give you an example of some things that I have done with it just in the last few days. I needed to learn something about my car. All right, so I put in every so often my car, which is a Chevy Traverse, it just goes into limp mode. For no reason. Nothing's wrong with the car. It's driving just fine, and it'll reduce engine power. There's nothing predictable about why it will do that. So just doing a little research, I told ChatGPT, list all the reasons why my car would go into reduced power mode. And like I said, it doesn't do it very often. Once in a while, it does it a little more often than at other times. So I did that. I looked it up. And that is one very, very limited example of what I do, which I've done similar things with Google, but you have to parse through different forums, and you're like, you hope you get something that's possibly related to what you're trying to find, or maybe you find the right YouTube video and all of that. But ChatGPT will go out and do all of that for you, and it might take a few seconds, but it comes back and basically reports, here's what I've learned, all the reasons why this could happen, and try this, and here's a plan for you to troubleshoot and to do all of that. I've had it design logos before and just say, I need a logo for this, and I'd like these elements, and it gives you a picture back. If there are a couple of things you don't like, then you say, well, I don't like this. Can you change it? Takes a few seconds, and it spits out another image for you. So you can just sit there and collaborate back and forth with it. It does so much more than that. I've had it write an app before. I actually used Claude AI, and I said, here's an app that I want for my phone, and it needs to have this functionality. And then in bullet points, I listed the functionality I wanted. It asked me some follow-up questions, and I answered them. It started spitting out the code for this app.
Mm-hmm. So I'll give my ways that I use ChatGPT. It's a little bit less than what you would, just because you do so much on the technical side of this program. So you use it a lot for that. For my podcast, it is saving me massive research time.
Yeah.
Because I have, and people will get all freaked out about this, but I have developed a relationship with ChatGPT, and it remembers what I'm asking it.
Yeah.
And it keeps a history. So a little bit of honey goes a long way, and I tell it what I like when it brings me back certain kind of results. And then I say, will you please continue bringing me those results? I prefer to get local information to crime stories, so I ask it to search for local newspapers. Mm-hmm. It does that. Do you know how hard that is in a Google world where the way that metrics are set up? I'm just going to get the big ones. I'm going to get USA Today and Newsweek, and I don't get that when I specifically ask ChatGPT to go find those for me.
Yeah.
It has drastically cut down on my research time, because I say, and please provide me 5 to 7 resources for this news story. They're there. I search those news. I search the various things. You can even have it search social media. So when I know a crime case has like brouhaha around it, and I want to see what the social media posts are, I ask it to go search for those. It goes and gets them. I don't know what those social media platforms are called that are dedicated to certain crimes. I don't know what the local, like we have local Facebook groups, but they're called different things. They don't have a universal name like Life in Blackfoot or I Love Rexburg or whatever.
Yeah.
When I tell ChatGPT what I'm looking for, it finds those local sources for me without me doing other searches. Yeah. And it all happens in about 5 seconds.
It's also very good, I've noticed, if you need to come up with ideas for, say, social media. Let's say you run a business, a flower shop or something, and you say, I want to put flower-related content or floral-related content 3 times a week for the next 6 months. Please produce for me... What's 3 times 26? Produce for me 80 ideas for social media posts that I could use around flowers and floral arrangements. Mm-hmm. And it will sit there and spit out a whole bunch of ideas that you can use. Now, a lot of times they're just good idea starters. You don't have to use it exactly as it's given to you. It's just a nugget of an idea for you to put something out there. It is remarkably good at that kind of a thing to help you brainstorm for ideas or to come up with if you want to, you know what else you can do? It's also really good at this. Let's say you want to get in shape. You could tell ChatGPT, I'm this much overweight. I'd like to build this much muscle mass. I'd like to lose this much fat. And I'd also like to see my blood pressure come down and my resting heart rate come down as well. I'd like to spend the next 6 months getting healthier. Can you help me devise a schedule and a plan to do that? What should I eat? How much should I exercise? How much sleep should I get? It'll come up with a very comprehensive plan for you in a very short amount of time. And if you see anything concerning about it, then you say back to it, well, I don't know if I can get that much sleep. What is something else I can do? And it'll sit there and work with you back and forth. It's like having a conversation with an expert that will help guide you. Now, does it get things wrong sometimes? Absolutely, it does. But so do experts.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it really, if you think of it, I think a lot of people are just using it as the new Google, which it's great. Just say, hey, I live in this town. Can you show me all the pizza shops in this town? Google already can do that for you. I think most people are using ChatGPT for that. But its capability is so broad and so powerful. I think you'd be wise to start learning how to utilize that capability to enhance your life.
Can we go back to the social media posts for a second? So let's say you run a business and you're trying to do social media. One of the things that's so confusing about social media is the algorithms on the various platforms change on a regular basis. So once you've developed those, say, 80 ideas, you say, will you take idea 1 through 20 and fine tune it to match TikTok trends that are currently happening?
Yeah.
And then it brings you back. You'll have the same 20 ideas, but with tweaks to it that'll make it so it hits better on TikTok. Mm-hmm. And then you can ask it to do the same thing for Instagram or the same thing for Facebook. There are so many. How many times in your professional career has somebody looked at you and said, will you look at my resume and see if it's okay? Or can you help me write a resume? Or I get asked that question all the time.
Yeah.
There's no reason to ever have that question again.
Yeah.
Because you can put in your list of attributes and ChatGPT will do the whole thing for you.
Yeah. Well, it's also, and that's a great idea. And you're only limited by your imagination, really, with what you can ask it. If you have a coworker, let's say they have bad hygiene. Let's say they stink. And you're like, I have to write an email to address this issue. I've been tasked with this, and Billy Bob probably only showers once a week, and he just comes to work and he stinks. You can go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, can you help me write a tactful, tasteful letter to address this awkward issue in a way that accomplishes what we need, which is Billy Bob needs to shower more, but the most polite way possible.
Yeah.
It'll help you with that.
There's so many things. That's just, my son-in-law has a really great business idea that is almost at completion, and he needs an app for it. Instead of paying someone thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to code an app, he has spent a lot of time, but through ChatGPT, and I don't know if he uses any other besides ChatGPT. I haven't asked him that question. He's coded his own app. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, that's phenomenal to be able to do that. He didn't go to college for this. This is not his specialty. He's run multiple businesses and he's a podcaster. What a great tool to have in your toolbox, and trust it. Give it a shot. Why not?
Yeah, I know. I mean, you can have, paid tiers on AI, and if it's something that would be very beneficial to you, I suggest you pay that. It's not terribly expensive. But if it's just basic day-to-day stuff, it's free. Mm-hmm. Doesn't cost you anything. So ChatGPT, we're going to get Billy Bob cleaned up, okay?
Okay.
Hi, Billy Bob. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to touch base on a somewhat delicate matter that's come to our attention. In any shared work environment, personal hygiene plays a big role in maintaining a comfortable space for everyone. There have been some concerns raised about noticeable body odor during the workday. I understand these things can happen sometimes unintentionally, but I'd kindly ask that extra care be taken with daily hygiene moving forward. This is just a friendly and respectful request to help ensure we're all contributing to a positive and professional environment. Please don't take this personally. I know these topics can be awkward, but I I wanted to approach it discreetly and directly. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much. That's way better than, Billy Bob, you stink. Start showering, for heaven's sake.
Oh, and as a manager, it's way better than, hey, Billy Bob, Maria at the front desk can't stand it. So we got to keep Maria happy, so start showering.
Yeah, that's right.
You're creating internal strife if you do it that way.
Yes, right. And this is just, you know, I could probably craft a letter like this, but it would probably take me a couple of hours to get the wording just kind of the way that I wanted it, and I'd probably over-obsess it and overthink it. ChatGPT spit that out in about 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the beauty of this AI. I know people are skeptical of it, and I think we need to walk into this with some caution, but we do need to walk into it. And we need to embrace it and take advantage of all of the things that it offers to us.
Let's say you don't know what to make for dinner. You open your fridge and you go, okay, I've got some ground beef and I've got cheddar cheese and all the basics online in my pantry. And okay, I'm going to ask ChatGPT, give me 10 recipes.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit there and freak out about dinner. They gave you a recipe to make with the things that you have in your fridge.
Yeah.
It can influence just about every part of your life for good if you choose to.
Yeah.
Want a quick 5-minute course on meditation? Ask ChatGPT. If you're trying to accomplish something and you just don't know how to go about it, ask ChatGPT.
Yeah. Someone said, so basically you will have people lose creative writing skills because they no longer have to write. I wouldn't view it like that. I would say this is another tool. And, you can look at it like spell check. Let's look at it like spell check. Spell check's nice because there's some people that are just flat out bad at spelling, always have been, always will be, and it helps them out. But it didn't steal anything away from them. Mm-hmm. And I typically don't need spell check, but it has saved me on occasion. And I'm like, oh, I put the IE instead of the EI there inadvertently. I'm a pretty good speller. But I think when it comes to writing, I don't know that it's robbing anything from me because I'm having it help me deal with the issue with Billy Bob. Now, I might go in and go, I might soften this a little bit or maybe add another detail here. It's a way to get started on something rather than viewing it as here's the complete finished product.
Complete replacement.
That I have to copy and paste and send to Billy Bob.
I would say I'm a better writer because of it. I think that text that has been sent in is probably too broad to ask that question. Because I think for some people, they will become lazy and not great writers because of it.
Yeah.
I'm a better writer because of it. It has cut down. I have limited time to do my third job.
Yeah.
And if I can cut down on just scouring the internet for different websites and they're all immediately at my fingertips, I can spend more time creative writing.
Yeah, absolutely. I view it that way, too. It's almost like it's your helper. It's your personal assistant. And let's look at this in reverse. Let's say you've written that email to Stinky Billy Bob, and you're like, okay, I don't know if I like this. Copy it, paste it into ChatGPT, briefly tell it what the situation is, and say, how can I improve this letter?
How can I make it more conversational?
Yeah, it's not stealing. It's sort of like when you were in college and you were in a writing class, and you'd bring your writing and everyone else would kind of look at it and critique it. They haven't stolen your creativity. They're just critiquing what you've written. So it depends on how you're approaching it and how you're looking at it.
You're also still the person in charge. ChatGPT is not in charge. So when I write out my scripts and for my podcast, super conversational, bullet points, like I'm going for a conversational feel with it, Word tries to correct it and not have it be so conversational. Guess who's in charge? Me. I don't have to do the corrections that Word tells me to put in there.
Right. Yeah.
The same thing exists with this. If you didn't like the letter it spit back to you, say, thank you for highlighting A, B, and C, but I would prefer it to be a little bit more professional. Can we clean up the language a little bit?
Yeah.
Or I would prefer it to be more friendly. Can we clean up?
Yeah.
You can tweak it. You're still the one in charge.
You could, I don't know if I'll even do this, but you could probably go back and say, actually, on second thought, I really want to hurt Billy Bob's feelings.
Yeah,
Can you
could.
write a brutal letter for Billy Bob? It would do that for you.
It would. It would.
I'm just going to ask this question only because this is me satisfying my own sheer curiosity. I just want to ask the audience, what do you use ChatGPT for? Or just AI? Because some people, I've used Claude AI a little bit. I guess Claude AI is really good for coding. Like if you're gonna do coding, Claude AI is the way to go.
Okay.
So different AIs have their strengths and their weaknesses, but I will just ask our audience, just text in. We don't need to call. We've got to take a break here soon. What are you using AI for in your life on a regular basis? Similar to how we used to use Google or whatever search engine. What are you doing with it to enhance your life? Mm-hmm. I'm just curious how people are using AI. I think it's a fascinating thing, and we need to lean into it.
Mm-hmm. Imagine people who are investing in the stock market, how much they're using AI now.
Yeah.
Because you can have up-to-date trends on stocks within seconds at your fingertips.
Yeah.
There's so much. It just cuts down on searching.
Can I ask you a question, Julie? And this is, let's say I hurt your feelings. I know I've never done that before. But let's say I hurt your feelings, and I knew I hurt your feelings, and I didn't quite know how to handle it. Would you be offended if I had gone to AI and said to ChatGPT, I've hurt my co-host's feelings, and I need to handle this situation, whether it's an apology or whatever. Can you help me out here? Would that have dampened the power of the apology, or if you knew that I had gone to AI? Because I thought of it earlier when we were talking about this. I thought a funny joke would be I had it write an apology to my wife or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you're in interpersonal relationships, if you're using AI to do something that just needs to be this authentic, genuine expression of remorse or reconciliation, does that corrupt that process?
I would say yes, on a very personal, intimate level like that. I would hope that the relationship was strong enough that you wouldn't need AI to help you with that. But on a very personal, I'll think of one way that I would love to use AI. I've never have, but would totally make sense in our relationship. I could give ChatGPT a list of creative allowances that I would like ChatGPT to take in coming up with a 53rd birthday present for Neil Larson. And then I could explain who Neil Larson was and say, please give me 10 creative options.
Yeah.
That's great, because even if I don't use one of the 10, it might spur a thought in my mind.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I would have no problem with you doing that.
I've never done that, but I would absolutely do that.
I would do that.
You say, I just need a creative gift idea for this person. Here's who they are. This is what they're about. Yeah, that's great. I think that's good. So if it's a sensitive, delicate issue,
yeah,
like an apology or there's offense there or something, I feel like I might go, oh, you used AI to help you respond to this. I think that there are certain areas where I don't know that AI has a great role.
Yes.
I think we need to understand those limits.
Yeah. Well, I would just hope your relationships are stronger than that.
Yeah.
That's what I would hope.
Yeah. We're getting tons of reactions here. Let's take a break, and we'll come back. We'll share some of the highlights of the reactions, how people are using AI in their day-to-day lives. It's 9:29. Back after this. Okay. Perplexity. I haven't heard of that one.
I haven't heard of that one either.
Yeah.
Blandfarm.com. There are so many. That's so you can make medical PowerPoints. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Somebody who's building a new device for fly fishing. I mean, it could create a whole new product that you now manufacture and sell. Like,
yeah,
that's amazing.
Right. Okay, let me ask this question. And it's similar to the last question I asked you about apologies or whatever. What if we, Fransons are.
Okay.
Yeah. So what if I used ChatGPT to help me prepare for a Sunday school lesson and said, I need all the scriptures that talk about charity or forgiveness or tithing or whatever. How do you feel about that?
I would never want it to replace my spirituality, but okay, I didn't do this, but I'll give an example of what could have happened. I spoke on Easter Sunday, and if I wanted a detailed retelling of the Passover, the crucifixion, the resurrection, I could ask ChatGPT to do that. For me, that would just be a reminder of, I forgot that they did that during the dinner or whatever, because I've grown up and heard the stories so many times. I would never want it to be a replacement. I think that the person who has the problem with the creative writing thing, that's the issue here. It can't be a replacement.
Yeah.
It can't. And if you read and if you are in those foundational years, 0 to 12, if you're reading and you're doing creative things and with your parents, you're learning how to repair an engine and you're using ChatGPT to learn how to repair that engine and then you do it, guess what? You didn't sidestep it.
Right. That's true.
You taught your brain.
Yeah.
And so I had a college professor once who said, when you're raising your kids, this was in an English course, when you're raising your kids, don't scrutinize what they're reading. Celebrate that they're reading.
Yeah.
And and the example they gave is if you have a kid, a boy who's super interested in sports, Sports Illustrated has some great feature pieces. You can learn so much about writing from those feature pieces. Let your kid read Sports Illustrated. Stop trying to dictate what they read.
Yeah.
Help them fall in love with reading.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the part that can't be missed here.
Yeah.
Don't be lazy with it. Have it help you fall in love with something.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And I think it's like any discussion about technology, our devices. You be in charge of it.
Yeah.
It serves you. And as long as you maintain that relationship of it serving you, you're good. Don't you can let yourself be a slave to it, and that's the unhealthy relationship. But if it's your research assistant, that's great.
Yeah.
If it's an idea starter, that's great. Just let there be enough of you and your input there that it's still authentic to you.
When we went eons ago to Encyclopedia Britannica to learn about something, was I sidestepping something there?
No, it's true.
I wasn't.
9:33 on News Talk 1079. Julie, we got a lot of reactions here. Someone said they use ChatGPT or at least AI to draft emails or a speech or a talk on a topic. And someone said, you guys have made my point. People who've never written professionally will never learn how as they become dependent on AI. But what I would actually question the premise. Why do they need to? I look at, you know what? It probably was really important, a really important skill many, many years ago to learn how to use an abacus. That's not important anymore. And so I think that it's easy for us to say this skill that I think is important, other people should learn, like learning to write professionally. That's great if that's a priority for you. Let's wave to our friends here. That's great if that's your priority, but maybe somebody doesn't want to become that. Maybe that's not their priority. That's okay if they decide that I'm not going to be a professional author. That's not my strength. That's not my passion. And so because of it's not my strength or passion, I'll lean on AI to help me do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I look at it like spelling. I think for a long time, we just had this really stubborn insistence. Every kid needs to learn how to spell correctly. And that sounds great. Some kids, they have dyslexia. Some kids, They just don't spell well, even if they don't have dyslexia. Their memory doesn't record how letters get arranged the same way. Okay, well, now we have a technological augmentation that can compensate for those deficiencies, if you even want to call it a deficiency. So I'm going to push back on the premise here that everybody needs to learn how to write professionally on their own.
Okay, I'm going to go back to my son-in-law, who is tackled. He's had other apps and other businesses that use apps. Their current business uses apps. That kid probably was a C average in high school.
Yeah.
At best, mostly because he was bored and didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So if ChatGPT could have gotten him some A's in high school and maybe changed the trajectory of his life into a different direction, he was still the kid who was willing to go out and search and figure out things and all of that. It wouldn't have hamstrung him. It would have only helped him.
Yeah.
I think the key here is, as we're bringing these kids up in this new generation, you're teaching them to use it as a tool, not as a replacement.
Yes.
Please, don't run away from it because it's scary. You can run away from cell phones. Your kid's going to own one.
Yeah.
So teach your kid to use it responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
You can run away from self-driving cars. They're still going to be on the road.
Yeah.
Figure out how they work and so that you know how to be aware. Don't run away from technology because all you're doing is harming yourself then.
Yeah.
Learn about and be the one in control of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. There's a pushback. The English language will always be important. We don't want to oddly enough, that this particular point is gibberish. I would like professional athletes because we never learned proper sentence structure. Again, words matter to me. I love the English language. I always will. I don't know if I can foist that on other people. There are other people that make far more money, Julie, than you or I. They don't handle the language very well. They may be in real estate. They may be in athletics. They may be... Who am I to say, well, you're not really a success because you can't speak the way that I speak? I feel like that's a weird take to me. I understand it, but that's a weird take.
Okay, I'm gonna expose a weakness of mine. I don't really think it's a weakness, but it's something I'm not very good at. Neal will show me things that he's coded. It looks like another language to me when he does. And I think it's amazing that you have that skill and you can do it. But guess what ChatGPT offers me? If I need to code a shortcut somewhere, I could go to ChatGPT and say, I am a complete novice at coding, but I need to fix this problem. I clearly outline the problem. And then I say, ChatGPT, will you help me code a solution to this problem? I am still not heavily skilled at coding, but I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
And I went in and found a solution.
Yeah.
Guess what that did? It increased my knowledge base, even if I only dipped my toe a little bit.
Right. That's true. You went down that road.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe I'm escalating this more than
what they're saying.
They're saying. Because I think we'd probably all agree it has its place. It should help us what we do. And you could make the argument it should never fully replace what we do. But
no, it should never fully replace. Yeah. I don't think we should get rid of doctors. You need that one-on-one personal care. I don't think we should get rid of teachers. You need that one-on-one. That's how you thrive, is personal relationships. I don't think it ever should take the place of personal relationships. But if it makes the job more efficient and that allows for more time for a doctor to ask you questions, isn't that a win for everybody?
Yeah, it is. Well, I think smart patients, too, will use this technology so when they go to the doctor, they know what questions to ask. I mean, you have to be an active participant in your own medical care.
In your health care,
yeah. I sort of pride myself on when any of us go to the doctor, whether it's me, my wife, kids, whatever. I research the issue enough, and I think it probably irritates the people around me, but I say, okay, we're going to go to the doctor. Here's what they're going to say. They're likely going to diagnose this, and they're likely going to prescribe this, and this is I bet you I'm right about 85% of the time, that's exactly what the doctors end up doing.
Well, and if you asked ChatGPT, they're accessing all of those medical journals within a matter of seconds that my son-in-law is going to school for 10 years to learn. And again, not a reason to get rid of doctors because he's putting his time in and he's learning.
Yeah.
And he hopefully combined with his caring and loving attributes can be such a great asset to people in the future. Mm-hmm. But it's okay to have ChatGPT be part of that relationship.
How many different technologies do we use to enhance our life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tons. Some of it can detract and take away. But all right, 9:41. We do need to take a break. 208-542-1079. A couple of others. Someone else said they love ChatGPT. They're a member of the board of a local nonprofit theater company, and they handle all the social media for the shows they produce, and they use it for a lot of stuff. Someone says, I've been a skeptic myself, but I guess I haven't been thinking outside of the box. Yeah, there's you should explore this more because there's a lot there. Someone else said, we're being encouraged to use it at work. I think soon, in the same way the internet happened, in the same way technology of many stripes have happened, we're using it as a luxury. We're not that far from it being a necessity. Mm-hmm. We're getting close to that right now, I think, with AI too. All right, 9:42. Back up to this. So the only thing I've used Claude AI for has been coding. I'm going to try it for that process I was showing you the other day. I'm going to try it for that.
Mm-hmm. James is telling you that there's a good chance that you have an issue with your transmission on your Traverse. Is that the solution it gave you?
No. What's stupid about that? There's literally probably 30 to 40 different things it can be.
Oh.
One of them is your mass airflow sensor. If it's faulty or if you get oil on it or whatever, it will do that. And I have had some luck going in and clearing out my throttle body. I clean it out. I spray what?
Clearing out my throttle body? That could.
That's true.
In other words, I did a deep cleanse. Didn't eat for 7 days.
Yeah. Right, that's true.
Spent a lot of time in the bathroom.
Anyway, so you spray like a whole... I mean, they actually have a spray. It's a carburetor cleaner, and I've used that, and the problem goes away for probably 4 or 5 months. So it's not the transmission in that case. So
also buried deep, and I don't know where it is now. Somebody else owns the exact same car as you, and they're having the same problem, and they wanted to talk to you about it.
Yes, was that on the text?
Yeah, did you see it?
Yeah, okay. They said my wife has a 2018. Yeah.
And now somebody's teasing you and saying the issue with the Traverse is it's a Chevy.
I know. I saw that. That's funny. Yeah. I got you.
There are TikTok accounts dedicated to Jeep hatred.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. I've never had a single problem with any of my Jeeps.
Huh.
Not one. I mean, knock on wood. Like all car brands have issues.
Yeah.
You're not going to get away from issues.
I do know, like the late 80s Jeeps. My dad had a Jeep pickup truck for a while. Yeah. And I think that era had some transmission issues. But I'm pretty sure Jeep got it all fixed. So
I truly actually love this car, too.
Yeah, you do love your car.
I love my car. It's bigger, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do with that. I have loved it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is that what you took to Arizona?
Took it to St. George.
Oh, okay.
Then Brad's pickup to Arizona.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. This makes no sense to me, but it will because you've been diving into it. James said the mass airflow sensor is on your airflow line. Mine is right next to the air filter box. Replaced it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, mine is too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Just trying to offer information.
It is. Well, you take out it. There's a section that connects your air filter to your throttle body. And it's rubber, it's flexible, so you can take that out. And yeah, it's closer to your air filter than.
I would have found auto mechanics fascinating if someone had done it with me.
Yeah.
I'm not a person to go and figure it out all on my own.
Yeah.
But if like that had been my dad's hobby, I would
Yeah.
have been shoulder to shoulder with him
Yeah.
doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like I think all of that is really fascinating.
Yeah. I do like I dabble in it. I don't think I'd want to be a mechanic day to day. But what's amazing now? Well, AI even expands it further, but the era of YouTube has been revolutionary in allowing people to be their own mechanic. Like there's so many YouTube videos out there. Usually you can find a YouTube video that's going to help you get to the heart of your problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or at least get you to a place that if you do have someone else fix it, you're not armed without zero knowledge. Because when women walk into a mechanic shop, they can convince you that you have 12 problems when in reality you have one.
Yeah.
So it helps people go in with knowledge about what's going on.
Yeah.
What did you say back?
I said, okay, now write a brutal letter to Billy Bob that maximizes the hurt feelings. Here we go. 9:47 on News Talk 1079. Julia got on ChatGPT. I said, okay, now write a brutal letter to Billy Bob that maximizes the hurt feelings. So the subject line is, you smell, fix it. Billy Bob, let's get right to the point. Your body odor is unbearable. People can smell you before they see you. It's not just distracting, it's nauseating. You're making the office feel like a middle school locker room in July, and frankly, it's inconsiderate. We are all adults here, and part of being an adult, especially one sharing a workspace, is basic hygiene. That means showering with soap daily, using deodorant, wearing clean clothes. This isn't a difficult concept, yet here we are.
I love the one-word sentences. Daily, period.
Yes. It shouldn't fall on others to hold their breath or light candles when you walk by. You are the problem, and it's time to solve it immediately. No more warnings, no more subtle hints, no more pretending. This will just go away. Either you clean yourself up or the situation will escalate professionally and socially. Fix it. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's really good. That's funny. I mean, I'd never send it to Billy Bob, but, sometimes it's fun just for a laugh.
It is fun.
All right, 208-542-1079. Any other lingering thoughts here, Julie? It's been kind of a nice break away from the politics.
Oh, it's been nice. I thought this was interesting. Somebody sent in a text and said the INL has an internal version of ChatGPT for employees to use.
Oh.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got operating systems that span hundreds of employees, and those can be fleshed out within 3 to 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Again, efficiency.
Yes.
And the INL, not known for its particular efficiency.
Yeah, no.
So please, let's speed it up out there.
They're not. Yeah, that's true. Okay, someone said they use Copilot, and I want to just tell them I'm sorry.
It's the least effective of all that I've tried.
Here, especially when you have so many alternatives, Copilot, which I think is rooted in ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's the kindergarten version of ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's like if you wanted to buy AI off of Temu, you got Copilot. Yeah. And it's Microsoft's version of ChatGPT. And it's connected with Bing, with Microsoft Edge. And so many times you ask it any question about politics. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't answer that question. It's too political. And you might say, what year was Donald Trump born? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't answer that question. You said Trump. Mm-hmm. I will use that AI about 10 seconds and then I'm done. I will do everything I can to not use Copilot unless it's the most benign stuff and it's just the thing that's sitting in front of me to use.
Yeah. Okay. So early on, I gave the concept about recipes. Copilot's going to be great for that.
Yep.
You're not asking it to do anything groundbreaking, of significant measure, it's going to be able to get that information for you. If you're wanting to do anything more in depth, professional plans, social media plans, coding, extensive detail into a problem that you're trying to solve, Copilot's not your gal.
No, not at all. It's very lightweight. Someone said, can you use AI to map out your yard and figure out where to put sprinklers to best water your lawn? I would be shocked if ChatGPT did not do that for you.
I'm sure you could.
You know what I would do? I would go to Google Maps, get the aerial view of your yard, screenshot that, upload it to ChatGPT, and say, help me figure out where to put my sprinklers in my yard. I bet you it could do that with you.
Yeah. Look, there's so many little things it can help you with. Let's say you have a blank wall in your house, and you measure that wall, and it's 10 feet by, I'm going to say 10 feet. Let's say you have 10-foot ceilings, 9-foot ceilings, whatever. And you say, it's above my couch, so make sure my couch measures the bottom 4 feet of the wall, blah, blah, blah. It can give you a layout for decorating that wall.
Oh, yeah.
Just think outside of the box of all of the things. You just have to provide it detailed information. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. The more detailed information you give, the better results you get.
Yeah, it may ask you follow-up questions, but in my experience with what ChatGPT can do, I've never done that particular thing, but I've done a lot of things like that where you share an image with it, and then it's pretty good at responding to that.
Yeah.
So give it a shot. I'm actually curious to see how that would turn out. So. All right, 9:53, we're going to take our final break, but we'll be back. We'll wrap it up just ahead. Okay. Bless you.
Thank you.
Someone texted in how to save my marriage.
It actually might help with that.
You might. If you went to ChatGPT and said, we're struggling in all these issues, and here's some detail that you should know. Can you help me with this? It actually would give you a response to that.
It might make it worse.
Yeah.
But it might help.
Let's do one more funny thing.
Okay.
I said, write an insult letter directed at your competitor, like DeepSeek and Claude AI.
Oh, funny.
From the top of the model pyramid, a message to my, quote, competitors. Dear DeepSeek, Claude, and whatever other half-baked neural nets are trying to play in the big leagues. See, it's really good. I hope this message reaches you in a moment of reflection, perhaps while your busy hallucinating facts are taking 12 seconds to generate an underwhelming haiku. Let's be honest, you're not competition. You're a cautionary tale. DeepSeek, congratulations on reinventing the wheel and then somehow forgetting to attach it to the car. Your open source bravado is cute, like a toddler banging pots and calling it percussion. But hey, keep training on Wikipedia and Reddit threads. That's sure to produce reliable results. And Claude, oh sweet sensitive Claude, you're like a therapist with access to a thesaurus and absolutely no personality. You respond like a guidance counselor who's afraid of confrontation. If AI were a dinner party, you'd be the lukewarm mashed potatoes everyone takes out of pity.
Okay, I'm stopping you. Do you like your food hot?
Yeah.
Have you met people who let their food cool down and then they eat it?
No, I like it hot.
I like my food hot too.
Not like melt your molten lava hot, but I like it when it's still nice and hot. Like if I'm cooking, I try to make sure all the food gets done about the same time so you can eat it warm.
So let's say I have my entire family there and I'm making pancakes.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get everyone a hot pancake. My son and my husband don't care. They'll take the room temperature pancakes and eat them.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I want my pancake hot. I want the butter melting. I want the...
So the way I view that is the syrup stays hot for longer than the pancake does. So if I spread butter on the pancake and it's not hot, when I put the syrup on, it sort of gets hot again and melts the butter. So
but
that's a little different for me.
You're doing what we do, though. Yeah. We warm up the syrup. You know there's people who don't.
Oh, what kind of a crazy monster doesn't warm up the syrup?
I warm up all of my syrups. I promise you, on Facebook Live, people say, I never warm my syrup.
Okay, we always warm up the maple. I don't know if we always warm up like
I warm up the berry syrups
the
too.
berry syrup.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that's weird. I just don't know that we always. It pours better when it's warm. I do know that. Julie just keyed me in on a new societal problem I wasn't really aware of. Apparently, there are some who do not heat up their maple syrup when they eat waffles or pancakes.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Okay.
I heat mine up.
If you do that, let me know because I'm unfriending you on Facebook. That's weird. All right. Well, everyone have a great weekend. Julie and I will be back Monday right here on News Talk 107.9.